This conference will now be recorded.
Very good evening to everyone present for the session today. So yesterday we had discussed about the stock journals and physical stock vouchers. So I explained to you about the stock journal voucher. Okay, I had told that today we will be putting up those vouchers in Tally software. Hope you have the clarity of the stock journal vouchers. I'll be discussing also with the physical stock vouchers. Okay, but first let us process the transaction under stock journal voucher. So let me share the screen with you before I proceed. Okay. Yes, this is what we had discussed yesterday. That the function key for stock journal is Alt F7, and stock journal voucher is mainly used for stock transfer of goods from one go down to the other go down. So where the quantity of the stock remains the same, but the place or the location changes. So as there is a shortage of stock in go down 2, the company has transferred 10 Dell computers from go down 1 to go down 2 at the same value. Okay, so here I think we had made a check where are the Dell computers currently located in. But again, let's once again make a check now also. Okay, so let me come to the gateway of Tally screen. I hope all of you have logged into your Tally software. Make sure you're on the gateway of Tally screen. Okay, and here I had gone to which report? It was a stock query report. So how do we go to the stock query report? Display more reports. Display more reports. We have statements of inventory and we have the stock query. I'll repeat again. If you're on gateway of Tally, display more reports, statement of inventory, stock query. Press enter and select the done computers. So here, currently in the screen, if you see, the Dell computers are currently stored in which godown? That is Janagar godown. Okay, where you can see at the bottom, yes, here. So currently all 92 numbers are put up in the Janagar godown. So now, how many stock items we are transferring? Now currently in my books of accounts, there are two godowns. One Janagar, one is the main godown, the main location. So I'm transferring 10 numbers. I'm totally having 92 Dell computers. Out of 92, I'll be transferring 10 Dell computers from Janagar godown to the main location. Okay. So I hope all of you have got this clarity. Yes, are all of you able to get the stock query report? Yes, right. Last class also you had got it. So make sure now also you have. Yes, very good. So now what we are going to do is following up with this, we are going to put up the stock journal picture. So let me go back to the gateway of Tally screen. And here, what is the function key for a stock journal voucher? It is Alt F7. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep your fingers on three keys: Alt, Fn, F7 in laptop. Okay, so there you're going to get. Yes, right. So I hope all of you got this voucher. So this voucher is completely different. It is not like the others where you have name of the item, you have quantity, you have rate, etc. etc. Here you have source and you have destination. Okay, so source, name of the item, quantity, rate, amount, destination, name of the item, quantity, rate, and source means from where the stock items are getting transferred. Destination is to where the stock items are getting transferred. Okay. So up you can observe, right? It has been given as what? Transfer of materials, right? So now we are transferring 10 Dell computers, right? So what? Please carefully observe and then work simultaneously. Now, first and the foremost step is you have to press the space bar.
Ma'am,
Yes, bar.
ma'am, I had network issue because of which I missed that part. Ma'am, where is the inventory voucher, ma'am?
Not inventory voucher bar. From gateway of tally, press enter on vouchers bar and use Alt F7. You'll come to stock journal voucher. That's all.
Ma'am, from gateway of tally, what should I press, ma'am?
Go to vouchers bar here. As usual, how you go usually. See,
Yeah,
from
ma'am.
gateway of tally, go to vouchers and then press
Okay.
Alt F7. You'll be in stock journal voucher.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay.
That's it. I'm not yet started. I'm still in the initial stage.
Okay.
Did you get the voucher?
Yeah, ma'am, I got it, ma'am.
Okay. So here, source means which is a stock item we are making a transfer of, stock transfer of. It is Dell, right? So press the space bar. Okay, and now you can currently see that we have 92 Dell computers. So press enter on Dell computers. Okay. So next, don't press any other key, just press the space bar again. So currently it will show that all the stock items are being put up in the Jayanagar go down. So select Jayanagar go down. Okay. And what is the quantity to be selected? It is typed it is 10. Enter. Space bar. Again select Dell computers. Again a space bar. Now from Jayanagar, the 10 numbers are being transferred to the main location. So what you're going to do is select the main location and press enter. Again 10. So this is how you're going to get, which means from Jayanagar, 10 Dell computers are being moved to the main location. I'll repeat it again in case if you have not got. Let me refresh the voucher for the ones who have not understood or who have not got. See, we are transferring 10 pieces from Jayanagar go down to the main location. Okay. Now what you're going to do is just operate with the space bar, press the space bar, select Dell computers, press enter. Now press the space bar, select Janagar go down, because currently the stocks are available in the Vijayanagar go down. Next is what is the number we are transferring? 10. Type 10, press enter. So it will come to 20,000. 20,000 is the purchase cost. Okay. So enter, enter, press enter until you come to the destination. Press enter. Now space bar. Again select their computers. And now select main location. Select main location. Yes. Select 10 numbers. Like this it has to come. Okay, I'll show you what is the after effects of this. So first let us put up this picture and then see how it will appear in your report. So narration what you put up as, here there is no question of GST, SGST, and IGST coming into force. It is only a stock transfer, so nothing to worry. Now being 10 numbers or 10 pieces of Delhi transferred to the main location on account of shortage of stock. One second. Okay, on account of shortage of stock. Enter, accept this. Enter. Yes. All of you are able to get it. Anyone who has not got? Yes. Are you able to pass the stock journal voucher? Very good. Now, after you pass this voucher, how do I check whether this has been really accounted? Where do I check it? So, let us go back to the same report where we have checked earlier, stock query report. So, you press the escape key, okay? So, come to the display more reports, and here is statements of inventory, stock query. Go to Dell, select Dell computers. So, now you can observe at the bottom right what I have given in the definition. Once again, this voucher is used to transfer the goods from one location to the other location. The quantity of the stock remains the same, but the location of the place changes. Quantity of the stock remains the same. So earlier when we checked it was 92 only, correct? Now also it is 92. It is not like it is showing as 82 here, correct? So it is 92 only. The total amount of stock remains the same, but the place of storage will change. So in the main godown, you see 10 Dell computers. In the general godown, you see how many pieces? 82 Dell computers. This is what I was trying to explain to that. Place of storage changes, but in total, the quantity remains the same. So just imagine now if you take Reliance, you take Mall, you take any other supermarket, or best is showrooms also. So if you take one particular stock item, in every place, how many are stored or how many are kept, total quantity remains the same, but the place of storage will change, especially for such kind of durables. It plays a significant role. Okay. Yes. Now, this was a stock journal voucher. Now, what is this physical stock voucher? Let me head on to the next set of voucher, which is physical stock voucher. And as I've told you, it is a continuation of your stock journal voucher. Yes. Now, physical stock voucher. Physical stock voucher is used for what? Under what circumstance? It is used for recording the actual stock which is verified or counted. It happens when the stocks in the books and the physical stock do not match. So when do we use this physical stock voucher? It is used for recording the actual stock which is verified or counted. So, which means what? Physically and as well as in the books, the quantity should be the same. If there is any variation, okay, in this case, that is physically in the go down, we're having 10 numbers, but in the books of accounts, it is showing as 8. So, what happened to the remaining 2? I'm not talking of the stock items which are being sold or which are being damaged and sent back. Other than like whatever is this scenario, it has to be accounted, it has to be recorded. So it should not be a missing figure. What happened to the remaining two? Either it has to be sold or it has to be returned or account of damages. Some clarity has to be there. If it is sold, automatically it will get subtracted from the current stock. Otherwise, what else? So this is where we use the physical stock voucher. Now, exercise have given that there was a physical verification done and found that there are only 8 Dell computers in the Goa. Okay, so let me explain you this in detail. Now, in the previous case, what happens? We had a stock deficiency in the other Goa. Yes or no? So here in my case, I had transferred 10 computers. I had ordered for a stock transfer of 10 computers from general Godown to the main location. Why? Because in the main location there was a shortage of stock. So I ordered for a stock transfer. And the same I have put up in my books of accounts in the stock journal voucher that 10 computers are being stock transferred to my Godown main location. Okay, so what would have happened? Why do I use physical stock motion? Let's consider that now 10 numbers have ordered for a stock transfer to the main location. What would have happened is, let's say during the transportation of the stock items, now 10 Dell computers are coming from the general godown to the main location. So during the transportation, okay, let's say two computers would have got damaged. Yes, probably the temper would have met with a small accident. Some issue would have happened, and because of which, out of 10 Dell computers, 2 Dell computers are damaged. So we have remaining 8 good pieces of Dell computers. Now, moment the stocks have been received at the main location from Jayanagar Godown. I come to know that that 2 numbers are damaged. So I can't afford to take the damaged pieces. It would be it would be not correct. So I take the delivery of the good numbers, that is 8 numbers. Remaining two, we will decide to send back to the company. Okay. Now, here in this case, we have recorded a stock transfer of 10 Dell computers from Janagar go down to the main location. But in reality, how many I have received, how many have been delivered to me? It is only 8. So, which means in my warehouse, in my godown, it is 8. But in my company's books, it is showing as I'm having 10 Dell computers. So, there's a mismatch. So, I'll repeat the first statement again. This is used for recording the actual stock, which is verified or counted. Actual stock lies where? Actual stock doesn't lie in the books. Actual stock lies in the godown. Other than the stocks which are being sold out, there is a different issue. So now, so after verifying the actual stock, counting the actual stock, it is found out that there are 8 Dell computers and not 10. But in my company books in my Tally software, it is showing as 10, not 8. So this I have to make the corrections. Yeah, that is where when we use the physical stock voucher, it happens when the stocks in the books are physical stock do not match. So stocks in the books means stocks quantity appearing in the Tally software. Physical stocks means stocks appearing in the go down. Physical stock is stock appearing in the go down. Stocks in the books of accounts means the quantity of stock what is appearing in the Tally software. Okay. So let's put up this entry. It is a very short entry which we can put up. Okay, so let's go ahead. So the function key, as I've told you, is Control F7. Yes, so press the Escape key. Come back to page 4. So go to vouchers. Okay, and here press Control F7. So when you press Control F7, you come to the physical stock voucher. This is how your physical stock voucher looks like. I hope all of you have got it. Press Control F7. Now, what all of you are going to do is press the space bar, select Dell computers. Select Dell because Dell computers is what we are doing now. So Dell computers. Now we have to be very careful with the go down. Now space bar. Now, now which is the go down we are going to select here? Is it Janagar or is it main location? So which is the go down we have to put up here? Where it is actually 8 numbers which we have received. It is Janagar or is it main location? It has to be main location. Okay. Main location is the go down. Yes, Julie. Main location is the go down where we have stock transfer. See, this one, not the not this one. This so press enter on main location, and instead of 10, in reality, how many we have? It is 8. It is 8. That's it. No other changes, no other additional information. We are going to add up in the physical stock voucher. So which means instead of 10 we are having 8. And being being the go down quantity of Dell computers stock verified and updated in the being the go down quantity of Dell computers stock verified and updated in the company's books. So we can put up the relation and pass the entry. Okay. So enter, accept yes. Okay, so once you finish doing the physical stock voucher, now let's go back to the gateway of Tally. Yeah, press the escape key and come back to the gateway of Tally. And here, okay, if you observe, I mean, you can go to many reports, but still, you'll go to the stock query itself. So I'll go to the display more reports again, statements of inventory, stock query. Yeah, can you observe at the bottom? Now before it was 92, right? Now visually as 90. Why? Because in the main location it is not 10, but it is 8. Okay. I hope all of you have got the answer for the same. Yes. Anyone who is unable to get, yes. Good. So this is how we put up the stock journal and the physical stock vouchers. Once again. Yes. Okay. So now, after working for both, so I can say that till now we have completed the most important set of vouchers, starting from contra, payment, receipt journal, then purchase, sales, debit note, credit note, and now followed by stock journal and business stock vouchers. Okay, so now we will go to slight, variations in the vouchers. Okay, new concepts I can say. Okay, the next concepts which we will be discussing is GST supplies inclusive of taxes. Okay, so when I talk about the GST supplies inclusive of taxes, so what does it mean basically? So now here I've given in the third point rate brackets inclusive of tax. Rate in the brackets inclusive of tax. So what does that usually mean? This we will see usually where this is defined as the MRP, right? The maximum retail price. And we see mostly in the FMCG goods, not many, I think. So here, what is this concept basically is? When we put up the total rate, inclusive of tax, inclusive of GST, how do I get the breakup of the amount of the value exclusive of tax and the amount or the value inclusive of tax? I'll repeat again. Now, here I've given a sales entry here that we have sold Dell computers to NRT traders, Karnataka. Okay. Now, and how many Dell computers we have sold? We have sold two. So here, what is the rate for one computer it is being charged? It is 17,980 for one per number I could calculate. Okay. Now, 17,980 what is being charged for one computer? That is the total price, the total rate inclusive of tax. So usually, so far in the sales vouchers, how we used to give cost price plus, cost price plus the profit margin comes up to sales. So it is sales value plus GST. We used to get the invoice value. But in this case, we are giving the we are putting up the invoice value itself that is inclusive of tax, 17,980. So before we put up this voucher, we have to make sure that we have to activate one of the features here. So below I've given you one important note. Okay, recording supplies inclusive of tax. Then before you step on to putting up the entry, moment you go to the sales voucher, you have to press F12 configuration. If you press F12 configuration, you have to activate the following feature: allow the entry of rate inclusive of tax for the stock item as yes. Okay. Okay, and most important, once you finish passing out this entry, please make sure that you deactivate this feature. For the only reason, because we have other set of transactions which don't require the MRP based, what do you say, records. So, henceforth, we are going to deactivate this feature. If I'm working with only MRP based entries, means let this feature be there. But since we are doing various types of entries, so what we'll do is to put up this transaction, we'll activate the voucher. Once it is done, we can what do you say deactivate this feature. Okay, so hope all of you are ready for the sale. So please go to the sales voucher, press the escape key, go to the sales voucher, vouchers, F8 sales voucher. Yes. Now here, before as I told we start up the entry, we have to press F12 configuration. Yes. Okay, and here we have that activation feature on the right hand side. Yeah, this one. Provide the rate inclusive of tax for the stock items. It is no, so make sure this is yes. Please check carefully, activate it. Yes, a few seconds and keep the screen like this. If you have not done, please do it. The moment you enter the sales voucher, press F12 configuration. You get the configuration screen, and in that, towards the right under tax details, provide rate inclusive of tax for stock items. Make sure it is yes. Now, all of you have activated this feature. If you've activated, press Ctrl A. So now, as usual, we're going to start up with the entry. So we have made a sale to NRT Traders Karnataka. Okay. So who is the party here? NRT Traders. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the create option, NRT Traders, sundry debtors. No other changes. Just create it under the group of debtors. Control A. As usual, dispatch details Control A, party details Control A. So sales ledger, select sales. Now space bar, and here select Dell quantity. Two are being sold. So like this it will appear. The moment you give quantity, the rate will come. Okay, the rate at which is being sold, the old selling rate. Now here, what have I given you that? 17,980 is the total selling price which is inclusive of GST. Okay, so carefully observe the rate inclusive of tax. Final rate is 17,980. Okay, type 17,980 and press enter. See what happens. So the next rate which is appearing, that is a rate actually exclusive of GST, 15,237.29. So 17,980, the rate inclusive of tax is the total rate for one computer, inclusive of GST. Yes. Now, moment I type that and press enter, I get the rate as 15,237.29. This is nothing but it is a rate which is exclusive of GST. Okay. So this is how we are going to get it. So 30,474.58 paise. What you're watching here is a value of food and computers exclusive of GST. It does not include GST. So this is how you can try it. You can test with any product if you want to do it. Very useful. So it will actually show you what is the selling price of that particular product. Okay. I hope all of you have got this entry or anyone who has not got. If you've not got, you can unmute, you can put up in the chat box. Okay, so I assume that all of you have got the entry. So let me proceed with the entry. Now see, press enter. Now we'll come to the main screen, right? So this is how it will give you a breakup of the value of food and computers without GST. Now, see, with the GST, inclusive of GST, what would be the value of the food and computers? Now, inclusive of GST, the total rate is 17,980, right, for one computer. So the value of two, how much it should come? So I will use the calculator pane here. 17,980 into 2. So I should be able to get 35,960. Now see, let the calculator pane be there. Now 30,474.58 paise, as noted, is exclusive of GST. Now, when it is exclusive of GST, usually what we need to do? Selling price plus tax amount gives us the invoice value. So, as usual, we press one enter and one more enter. Totally two enters we press. As usual, how we usually pass so far, and then you select CGST and the SGST. So, press the space bar, CGST, again one more enter, SGST. So if you can see at the bottom, we have got 35,960. Here after decimal places, you can round it off. This. So, so we have got the same amount after including the GST. So this is how we can find out, see a breakup of the invoice value and the sales value to this kind of a, what do you say, transaction in time. Okay, so press enter. So you can give it as or account, enter. So being two numbers of Dell computers sold at rate inclusive of tax. is GST at the rate of 18%. Otherwise, how as usual we put up that B2 Dell computers sold subject to GST rate of 18% is also fine. Not an issue. This is just to convey you how we can see the breakup inclusive and exclusive of tax. That was the main intention. Okay. So like this, you can put up the entry and clear it. So enter, accept this. It will show why because we have made some internal changes here. Yes, inclusive of tax, exclusive of tax. So what you can do is you can just press Control O. So if you can observe here, just Control O if you press, it will get accepted. Enter, accept this.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, I have one
Yes,
doubt,
Sudha.
ma'am. Uh, when it
Yes.
like amount, ma'am, like when we click enter onto the amount, uh, we get
Hmm.
this new reference and on account, ma'am. How can we figure
Hmm.
it out, like when to use where, ma'am?
You reference your on account and all that.
Yeah, ma'am.
See, for new reference, against reference, on account, advanced will only depend upon the transaction data. See what happens here. We are here we're making the assumption that it is being purchased or it is sold on a credit basis or a spot payment has been made on receipt. But in reality terms, if you ask me, the types of bill plays a role only on the basis of the agreement or the understanding between the supplier and the customer. Now see, I am running a hotel. Okay, I constantly require the stocks. Okay, so what happens is when it comes to B2B, there might be cases they will pay immediately. There might be cases they'll pay after 1 week. So in case if they pay immediately, what happens is it will be on account. Suppose if they say no, after 1 week we will clear the bill. That time it becomes the difference. So it all depends upon the reality basis. There at that time, how is their understanding? Whether they're purchasing on credit or they're making a spot payment for the purchase. Same thing with the sales. Okay?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, ma'am.
Clear
Yeah,
or
ma'am.
no?
Yes, ma'am. Cleared, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
Here
you.
we are not doing on a reality basis, of course. Concept wise, I want you to have clarity that when is new reference, when is against reference. Against reference is used when the bills are being settled. Now, as I've told that time, we have made the purchase of the stock items for a hotel. After 1 week, we are going to clear the bill. So after 1 week, when we clear the bill, we are going to put up a payment portion of that, okay, to mark the
Okay,
payment of that supplier. So that time it will automatically become as against reference.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
So I hope all of you are clear. Any other doubts you're having? Yes, all of you have put up the entry regarding the MRP inclusive of tax. Yes. So you can pass up the entry. Okay. So if you want, you can take a break of 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll resume the session. Yeah, let's resume the session. Now, after after putting up the entry for GST supplies inclusive of tax, now we will make some small change, and now we will discuss services. So far, we have discussed the purchase and sale of goods only. Okay, so now we are going to discuss on to the services. Now, after enabling GST in the company, one can record the inward and the outward supply of services using purchase voucher for receiving services and sale of services using the sales voucher respectively. So what does this mean is how we treat the purchase of the stock items, purchase of the goods by recording a purchase voucher, okay, and then the payment voucher. In the same way, whenever we are receiving any services, we never say we are purchasing services. Of course, it will be very, you know, not a, I can say, pleasant word. So when we are receiving services, right? So that time also we have to use the purchase function. When we are providing the services, we will say uh, we're going to go for a sales function. Okay. So receiving services, purchase function. Providing services is a sales function. Okay. So the same things. Because you can't expect the stock journal, physical stock, to play a role in case of services, because it will not work out to take place when it comes to services in data. Now here, earlier in the exercise I have given here, company provided advertising services was 50,000 to Zenith. Additional GST at 10% is charged on the invoice. Okay. Now for this, how do you put up the entry? We are providing advertising services. So we become the service providers. And what is the value of the advertising services provided? It is 50,000 rupees. Okay, to whom? To Zen Private Limited. And additionally, GST at 80% is charged on the invoice. Okay. Now, usually, what you used to do, as usual, you used to create the party ledger. Very good. But for advertising services, can we go for the stock item creation window? No. So which means we cannot create advertising services as stock item creation. Rather, we have to create a ledger in the name of advertising services and then make the necessary, what do you say, arrangements for passing out the entry. Okay, so let's proceed. So first and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to create the advertising services ledger. Then we pass the entry. Go to the create option, ledger, advertising services. And advertising services will be categorized under the group of sales. For the only reason we are providing advertising services. It is not an advertising expenditure which we are incurring to categorize under the group of indirect or direct expenses. Hope the wordings are very clear. See, we are providing here advertising services. So I'm rendering my services. It is a selling of my services. So I cannot categorize the same under the group of indirect or direct expenses or incomes. No. Okay. Type of ledger not applicable. Cost center no. They are not given in particular for this branch. We are um, providing the advertising services. Press enter. GST applicable. Yes. So we can get the HSN or the SSC details. Now you tell me. Now which is applicable? Is it HSN or the SSC for advertising services? Yes. The HSN coding is applicable or the SSC coding for advertising services? What is the coding would follow here? Yes. The answer please say. Think and answer. None of you know the answer. We follow the SSC coding system. Service accounting. So let's check what is the SAC code for advertising services. So to give that code, we have to go and specify details here. I'll give the code. We give the code now. You can put up as series as 12, 5, 20%. So 998361. So main is 9983. Description advertising services. And also you have to give the rate. Specify details here. Taxable and the rate is 18%. Now, type of supply will be services. Please do make necessary changes here. Yeah, please cross check the screen, check out whether you have given the proper details, and then save the
Excuse me,
changes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, type of supplier services, no, ma'am?
Type of supply services, ma'am. Advertising service.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, don't give it as goods. Yes, all of you are done. Accept yes. Now, now it is our usual case. We are going to go back to the gateway of Tally, go to the vouchers, and go to the sales voucher. But here again, there is one more highlight. Now, is service a stock item? An item? No, it is a service. So now you tell me. Now, currently it is showing as name of the item quantity. But before you proceed, I told you when we pass the NRT traders, please deactivate the feature. So before we start with this advertising services transaction, make sure deactivate the feature of the configuration screen. So all of you press F12 configuration. and make sure you deactivate this. Provide rate inclusive of tax for stock items. Make it up. So as I told you, right, that for every transaction, it will try to give the breakup. So not required. So make sure it is no. Control A. Okay. Now this is a wrong screen where we are doing. See, voucher is right, but the screen is not the correct one. Why? Because it is a service. It is not a stock item. Okay. So name of the item should not come. So now to record the sale of services, which is the screen we are going to go, we have to go for. So what you're going to do is, please listen carefully. Press Control H, change mode option. Control H together. You can observe here towards the right hand side of your screen in the vertical button bar. Can you see here change mode is there? See, I'm showing you Control H, nothing but change mode. Okay, so select that change mode option, and here you can see there are three cases: item invoice mode, you have accounting invoice mode, you have this as voucher mode. Now remember, item invoice mode is used when we have to record for goods. Item invoice mode is used when there is a record or transactions based on, I mean, in respect of goods. Accounting invoice mode is used in respect of transactions, in respect of service-based entries, service-based transactions. As voucher, neither goods nor services. Clear-cut payment, receipt, what do you say? Cash to bank, bank to bank. Nothing but, in clear terms, your accounting vouchers carry as voucher mode. Nothing but we have particulars, debit and credit. Okay, so now currently what you're watching, what you're doing, all your purchase vouchers for the stock items, it was an item invoice voucher. Now we are doing for services, so we cannot give services quantity, name of the item and all that. It is wrong. So we have to go for accounting invoice mode. Suppose it is only the accounting terms, no inventory involvement, we can go for as usual mode. Nothing but particulars, debit and credit. Okay. So I'll show you all three different modes now. See, currently it is item mode. You get name of the item. Suppose if it is accounting invoice mode, how will it appear? Can you see now changes? Same sales voucher, you're getting that particulars. Okay, change mode again as voucher. So you get debit and credit. Can you see the debit aspect there? Like this. So it is having three phases. So now you have to choose the accounting invoice mode. Okay, now to whom are we providing services? Zenith Private Limited. Okay, so you're going to go to the create option. I'll show you the transaction again. Yes. To Zenith Private Limited, the services are being provided from Bangalore, Karnataka. So we don't have IGST, we have CGST and the SGST. So go to the create option, Zenith Private Limited. Sundry debtors. We are providing services. Okay, no other changes to be made. Control A. Dispatch details. Control A. Party details. Control A. So you come to the particulars now. Now here, give it as advertising services. Set advertising services, which we did just now. So what is the total amount? It is 50,000. Okay. Now, in case of goods, I was usually telling you have to press two enters. Why? Because if you press one enter, again it will show you the list of stock items. So CGST, SGST, IGST, they are all statutory ledgers. Okay, they are not stock items. But here, advertising services itself is a ledger. So you need not press two enters. Just press one enter. It is more than sufficient. So your 50,000 amount is being brought in. Yes. Just press one enter. Okay. Space bar. CGST. Yes. Again, one more enter. SGST. That's all. So totally, how much Zilch has to pay us? 59,000 rupees. Okay. Enter. So make it as new reference. Name Zen Private Limited. Due date 8 days. Enter. Yes. Paying. Advertising services provided on credit subject to GST at the rate of 18%. Accept this. That's it. Yeah. So I hope all of you have got the entry. Yes. This is how you pass for services. Of course, one more we have regarding the exempted services. So which I'll not be doing now in the next class. But have you got this transaction of Zell Private Limited? Were you able to pass the entry? Super. So now you have got a complete track on, hope so, of your tally program, at least to some extent. To a large extent, I'll be very happy. So, thing is, this is how it moves on. Starting from pure accounting vouchers, then accounting come inventory vouchers. Now we are talking about the services, taxable services, then range inclusive of tax, surprise inclusive of taxes, based transactions, like this. So we see categories in various entries, when we're working in the software. So that you get the complete exposure, you know, when you take a particular transaction, how do you operate it in the tally software? If it is taxable, if it is exempt, if it is a goods, if it is a service. Okay, this is the main intention of this program, right? So the next transactions, the next set of transactions, I'm going to put up tomorrow. Okay, so I'll bring an end to this session. Thank you all. Meet you up in the next session.